Good afternoon. My report is about water supply and distribution, section 601 604. Introduction. Structures equipped with plumbing fixtures and used for human needs and habitation shall be provided with potable water in the amounts and at the pressures specified in this chapter. So section 601, running water required. Only potable water shall be supplied to plumbing fixtures that provide water for drinking, bathing, or culinary purposes, or for the processing of food and medical products. So unless otherwise provided in this code, potable water shall be supplied to all plumbing fixtures. So next is the unlawful connections. No installation of potable water supply piping of part thereof shall be made in such a manner that it will be possible for used, unclean, polluted, or contaminated water. Mixtures or substances to enter any portion of the piping system from any tank, receptacle equipment, or plumbing fixtures by reason of back siphonage, by suction, or by any other cause, either during normal use or operation of thereof, or when any such tank, receptacle equipment, or plumbing fixture is flooded or subjected to pressure in excess of the operating pressure in hot or cold water pipings. So, moving on, no person shall make a connection or allow one to exist between pipes or conduits carrying domestic water supply by any public or private water service system, and any pipe, conduits, or fixtures containing or carrying water from any other sources or containing or carrying water which has been used for other purposes, or any piping carrying materials, liquid gases, or any substances, unless there is a provided approved backflow prevention device. So, no person shall make a connection or allow other existing pipes or conduits that has used water before, unless approved with an approved backflow prevention device. No plumbing fixture, devices, or construction shall be installed or maintained or shall be connected to any domestic water supply when such installation or connection may provide a possibility of polluting such water supply, or may provide a cross connection between potable water distributing system and water which became contaminated by such plumbing fixtures, devices, or construction, unless there is provided unless there is provided an indirect connection or a backflow prevention device. So next is no water piping supply by any private water supply system shall be interconnected to an approved city water supply system or any other sources of supply without the approval of administrative authority, Department of Health, and other agencies. So once the city administrative authority, health department, or other agencies has approved, then you can connect water pipings with city water supply system. Cross connection control. Cross connection control shall be provided to accordance with the provision of this chapter. No person shall install any water operating equipment or mechanism, or use any water treating chemicals or substances, if it is found that such equipment, mechanism, chemical, or substance may cause pollution or contamination of the domestic water supply. Such equipment or mechanism may be permitted only when equipped with an approved backflow prevention device assembly. Approval of devices or assemblies. Before any device or assembly is installed for the prevention of backflow, the administrative authority shall first approve it. Devices or assemblies shall be tested for conformity with recognized standards or other standards acceptable to the administrative authority. Devices and assemblies shall be tested for conformity with recognized standards and other standards acceptable to the administrative authority, which are consistent with the intent of this code. The person or persons having control of such devices or assemblies shall maintain all devices and assemblies installed in a potable water supply system for protection against backflow in good working conditions. So, departments having jurisdiction may inspect such device or assemblies, and if found to be defective or inoperative, it will be required replacement or repair. No device or assembly shall be removed from the use or relocated to another device, assembly substituted without without the approval of administrative authority. So, uh, no device shall be removed or relocated, replaced without the approval. So, backflow prevention devices, assemblies and methods. Air gap. So, the minimum air gap to provide backflow protection shall be in accordance with Table 601, 6 to 1. So, this is the air gap. So, the air gap is from the water surface up to the faucet's mouth. So atmospheric vacuum breaker AVB consists of a body, a checking member, and an atmospheric opening. So as you can see in the second picture, that is an atmospheric vacuum breaker. So double check valve backflow prevention assembly DC consists of two independently acting internal or external loaded check valves, four properly located test cocks with connectors, and two isolation gate valves. As you can see in the picture, it is indicated there. Pressure vacuum breakers backflow prevention assembly or PVB consists of a loaded air inlet valve, an internally loaded check valve, two properly located test cocks, and two isolation gate valves. So last is a reduced pressure principle backflow prevention assembly, so or RP. Consists of two independently acting internally loaded check valves, a different pressure relief valve, four properly located test cocks, and two isolation gate valves. So this is a table 6-1, so minimum air gaps for water distribution. So there are fixtures, and in these fixtures, when not affected by sidewalls, it is times 2 the diameter of effective opening. And when affected by sidewalls, it is times 3 the diameter of effective openings. So this is the backflow assembly devices and methods. So next is the general requirements. All assemblies shall conform to listed standards and acceptable to the administrative authority having jurisdiction over the selection and installation of backflow prevention assemblies. So the premises owner or responsible person shall have the backflow prevention assembly tested by a certified backflow assembly tester at the time of installation, repair, relocation, and at least on an annual schedule thereafter or more often when required by the administrative authority. So access and clearance shall be provided for the required testing, maintenance, and repair. Access and clearance shall require a minimum of 305 millimeters space between the lowest portion of the assembly and the grade floor or platform. Installation elevated more than 1.52 meters above the floor or grade shall be provided with a permanent platform capable of supporting a tester or maintenance person. Next, there are connections between potable water pipings and sewer-connected waterways shall not exist under any condition with or without backflow protection. Where potable water is discharged to the drainage system, it shall be by means of approved air gap of 2 pipe diameters from the supply outlet and the top surface of the drainage inlet, but in no case shall the gap be less than 25 millimeters. Connections may be made to the inlet side of the trap provided that an approved atmospheric vacuum breaker is installed not less than 152 mm above the floor level rim, such trap fixture, so that at no time will any device be subjected to back pressure. So next, backflow prevention for hot water over 43.3 degrees Celsius shall be listed type assembly designed to operate at a temperature of 43.3 degrees Celsius or higher without rendering any portion of the assembly inoperative. So, fixtures, appliances, and appurtenances with integral backflow preventers or integral air gaps manufactured as a unit shall be installed in accordance with their listed requirements. So, talking about specific requirements, water closet and urinal flushometer valve shall be equipped with a listed atmospheric vacuum breaker. The vacuum breaker shall be installed at the discharge side of the flushometer with the critical level of at least 152 mm or the distance according to its listing above the overflow rim of a water closet, howl, or the highest part of the urinal. Water closet and urinal tank shall be equipped with a listed balcock. The balcock shall be installed with a critical level at least 25 mm above the full opening of the overflow pipe. In cases where the balcock has no hash tube, the bottom of the water supply inlet shall be installed 25 mm above the full opening of overflow pipe. Water closets having the flush valve seat less than 25 mm above the flood level rim of the closet bowl shall have the ballock installed in a separate and isolated compartment of tank or provided with a sheeted balcock or other equivalent protection. So water closet flushometer tanks shall be protected against backflow by an approved backflow prevention assembly, device, or method. Heat exchangers and other assemblies or methods of construction using potable water shall be listed. Construction and materials. Potable water shall be separated from the fluids or gases by a minimum of 2 separate walls within the positive vented leak detection path. The protection, in contrast with potable water, shall be of materials, weights, and suitable for potable water as set forth in this chapter. Inlets to tanks, vats, sumps, swimming pools, and other receptors, when protected by a listed atmospheric vacuum breaker, shall have such atmospheric vacuum breaker installed in the discharge side of the last valve with a critical level of not less than 152 mm or in accordance with its listing above the flood level rim of such equipment and air downstream pipings. Water supply inlets not protected by atmospheric vacuum breakers shall be protected by approved air gap. Where atmospheric vacuum breakers or air gaps are not installed, other backflow preventers suitable against the possible contamination or pollution may be installed in accordance with their requirements as set forth in this chapter. Lawn sprinkling system shall be equipped with listed atmospheric vacuum breakers installed on the discharge side of each of the last shut-off valve. Where atmospheric vacuum breakers cannot be installed because of the piping elevations of valves, other listed backflow preventers shall be installed in accordance. Potable water outlets with hose attachments other than water heaters, drains, and clothes washers connections shall be protected with a listed non-removal hose bib type backflow preventer or by a listed atmospheric vacuum breaker installed at least 152 mm above the highest point of usage and located on the discharge side of the last valve. A listed backflow preventer installed in accordance with the requirements of this chapter shall protect water-cooled compressors, degreasers, or any other cooled equipments. Also note, some water-cooled equipments may produce back pressure and shall be equipped with approved protection. Water inlets to water supply inspirators shall be equipped with a listed atmospheric vacuum breaker mounted at least 152 mm above the aspirator unit or equipped with a listed backflow preventer installed in accordance with its listed requirements in this chapter. So, potable water makeup connections to steam or hot water boiler shall be provided with a listed back now protection assembly. Non-potable water pipings in cases where it is impractical to correct individual cross connections in the domestic water line, the line supplying such outlet shall be considered a non-potable water line. No drinking or domestic outlet shall be connected to non-potable water lines. So, potable water supply to carbonators shall be protected by backflow protection devices such as approved by the administrative authority and are installed per the requirements of this chapter. So backflow preventers shall not be located in any area containing fumes that are toxic, poisonous, uncorrosive, and corrosive as they may intoxicate the water. So, section 604, materials. Water pressure pipes shall be brass, copper, centrifugal cast irons, ductile cast irons, galvanized wrought iron, galvanized steel, and other approved PE and PVC water pressure pipes manufactured to recognized standards may be used for cold water distribution systems. So, water pipes and tubings may be used for hot and cold water distribution systems within the building. All materials used in the water supply system except valve and similar devices shall be of a like material except when otherwise approved by administrative authority. So cast iron fittings up to including the S1 mm in size when used in connection with potable water piping shall be galvanized. All small size malleable iron water fittings shall be galvanized also. Pipings and tubings which were previously used for any purpose other than potable water system shall not be used. Approved plastic materials may be used in water services pipings provided that where metal water service piping is used for electrical grounding purposes and replacement. Pipings therefore shall be of like materials. Exception where a grounding system acceptable to the administrative authorities installed, inspected, and approved, metallic pipe may be replaced with non-metallic pipe. So, solder shall conform to the requirements subjected in 1302(4). And lastly, water pipes and fittings with a lead content that exceeds 8% shall be prohibited and not use potable water piping systems. So that is all. Thank you.